There's no place to escape to.
This is the last
Podcast.
On the left.
Side stories?
That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories. Yes. Yeah, a little
Rhythm.
Yeah, a little rhythm, a little Pope is Dead music.
Well, you know, it's important because it's important today to really recognize the fact the curse has been broken. News has finally happened in time for side stories to talk about it.
I know.
It has finally happened. We've been waiting for something like this for years. It has never happened. The Pope always gets better.
Yeah, he loves getting better.
He always goes dipping down and then pulling up the nose, make everybody get all excited, starting up the conclave. They're sending out the invites.
This Pope died like 5 times.
He's been dead.
That's the other thing.
He's been dead for 6 months.
At least.
They said irreversible heart failure is how he died. I'd heard.
I saw a stroke.
Yeah, well, he was stroking.
Woo!
Oh, stroking to the east, stroking to the west, stroking to the boy that I love best. He is stroking. Pope Francis is dead. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Side Stories. My name is Henry Zabrowski. I'm sitting here with Ed Larson.
How you doing? I want to be the first
Stroking to the
atheist
east, stroking to the
to
west.
bless the Pope after he's dead.
You know, a lot of people
In
immediately...
the name of the dad and the boy
ghost
and the enchanted
something.
apparition.
Yep. I want to say a lot of people said Henry Zabrowski is going to come out hard with the Pope harboring molesters joke about how he's, him and Whoopi Goldberg, I think, had an affair together. There's a lot of people, he was coming for that Ted Danson ex-wife material.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people that were expecting me to say stuff like that, but I want to say, Papu Jorge, me so sorry you dead.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Papu Jorge, I'm so sorry that the last thing that you had to see was J.D. Vance's fat face, but everybody else was also saying the same thing. We've all seen the millions of jokes about J.D. Vance killing the Pope.
He was probably already dead.
All we're saying
Just sitting there.
I think that the Pope's been dead for 2 months.
I think so.
I think they knew that they had to
How
drag.
did he get fatter?
He had every single thing that you could have.
Yeah.
He had it all in one go. J.D. Vance begged to see him. He sent his goon, but Papa Jorge went and sent his goon at him to tell him, you're not a real Christian. J.D. Vance went, then they went, and then he got to see him on his last breaths. But I still think that he was dead. He saw Papu Jorge sitting there.
Yeah.
Papu Jorge, they screwed his little hat on. They got the threads on there. They made sure he had his arms attached because they fell off about 3 weeks ago. And so, they had the strings.
Oh,
And he's
yeah. All popes are puppets. We know that.
Like, so nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. Welcome to the Vatican. Have you ever been to Italy?
J.D. Vance is like wondering why he's not answering him. He's like, this motherfucker's stonewalling me.
Or he's like, wow, quiet contemplation. Just watching the corpse of him rot in front of him. We also said we're looking at his...
Since when do we let vice presidents meet the Pope, by the way?
Since all the rules are gone, Eddie. Vice presidents
don't get to meet the fucking Pope.
Vice presidents need to be pretty and shut the fuck up.
That's right.
That's all I want to see. I want you to sit in your little fucking box. I want you to do something dumb like teach people to read or something. That's what vice presidents are supposed to do. They're not supposed to. He's too busy. And you know what? He looks like shit. And eventually, if they think that you had anything to do with this, J.D. Vance, the Vatican is going to disappear you.
Oh my God.
And I just hope that he said one wrong thing in that room. But
I can guarantee it.
It probably just something like, oh man, whoa, hey,
nice dress.
but done. Done. But we were looking at pictures of Papu Jorge in his casket, and if you look at it, you can tell, I guess, like, they sort of don't embalm them. I don't quite know.
Let me get a close up on this.
I don't know how it all works.
Large for me to know.
Yeah. I want to see it big. I want to get in there. Can I take a VR tour of the Pope's casket?
Man, what about the guy behind him dressed like a jester?
That is the Swiss Guard.
That's the Swiss Guard?
Yes, that is a part of the Vatican Guard. That's the elite guard that their jobs are to protect that hat.
Maybe a different fucking outfit would help them be better fighters.
No, that's
Those
how you know
sleeves
they're
are not good for fighting.
I will say, don't fuck with the Swiss Guard. I've made comments about the Swiss Guard before, and apparently they will fuck you up.
Really?
Apparently, yeah, they are very highly trained. That's his private army.
Do they put holes in people?
Yeah,
like the cheese.
Yeah, string them up, Jesus-like. But the Papu is here melting. You could see him in this casket. He's slowly melting, which shows
but
that...
the funeral's not till Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
He already looks awful.
They're going to have to pop him on ice.
They're going to do something, right?
I think they do. They put him in the fridge.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have all the spread going.
It's not like it's cold in Italy.
It's nice.
It's nice. Well, that's France. The
stole my joke.
Yeah, but you deserve it. And I love how they had to they're like, okay, he's 5'8", but we need a 6'5" casket for the hat.
Just so you know, we're gonna have to bury him with that. It's actually it seems he died with it still on, just melting into his forehead.
That's because he has a dildo on top of his head. Yeah, the hat hides the dildo.
I wonder, so now we're gonna go through the conclave. Side stories lpotl@gmail.com. I'd love to know what we know about what they do to the Pope's corpse, because I know what we did. We were talking about with Gurney right before the show. Yeah. They have a whole thing. Obviously, it's a whole very
What do they do with his eyes?
They do a regimented breakdown where they go. Jerry Orbach didn't get to ask, so we don't get. The Pope doesn't get to ask either. But they go through a whole procedure, and I know one of them is they take a little hammer and they knock him on the head 3 times. This is true.
A silver hammer.
Yes. And they knock him on the head 3 times, and then they go, Jorge. And they say his real name. Mm-hmm. And I guess that transmutes him back to human.
Or if he, if possible, wake up.
And then, wait.
Finish
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Go back to sleep.
Conclave is headed.
It's my turn, Papu. It's my fucking turn. I'm in charge.
Hell yeah, man.
I mean, because what happens, they seal the apartments.
Yes.
Because you never know what happens in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I would do, I'd go up to his little lips and go, "Oh, forgiven, Henry."
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. I know about all your crimes and I forgive you.
Thank you, Papu Jorge. But yeah, everyone's expecting us to talk about how, a lot of you gave me pushback because he was the nice Pope.
He's the best Pope we've had.
What does that even mean? But he's
better than the other fucks.
He's fine. What's hard is that I don't mind.
The next one's gonna suck.
He has used homophobic slurs in the past,
but he's also stuck up for gay people.
Sort of. The thing is that I guess
said they're allowed to be humans.
Kinda. Yeah. He's it's still one of those where I do think that I know that everyone's saying at least he's trying, but you know what I'd love? Someone that didn't just try.
You just be executed.
Do it. Be the Pope. This is my thing. Aren't you the fucking infallible head of the church? I know you have all these people you have to convince and all this kind of shit, but when it comes down to it, he could literally come out and be like, not only are gay people great, but I jerk off to gay porn every day. If he really wanted to change shit, he would actually change shit instead of kind of hinting and kind of half changing shit. And before everybody tells me, oh, the politics and blah, 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 it's yeah, I get it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. If he's chosen by God, then he should be able to do whatever the fuck it is he wants.
Also, the Catholics, they could use a little refresh, a little sprucing up.
Somebody needs to do something with a set of huevos. Yeah. Someone's got to actually do something. And now we have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever if anybody has seen Conclave. And they know how Conclave ends.
Yes.
And I think that could be really, really fun. This is a good way for someone to sneak in there.
Yeah, it would be
so Pope Francis here, I love this. He says, he sneaks in views on sex and masturbation as he kisses feet of prisoners. Lucky Pope.
Really?
What does he say? On Holy Thursday.
Do you mind if I suck on these feet? I know I'm supposed to kiss them, but I could suck on him if you want.
Hey, you know what? I'm in prison for child molestation. You go ahead and suck my feet, Pope.
Is it okay that I'm like super old?
Yep.
Do you mind that I'm old? And
Honestly,
I'm still gonna suck on.
That to me is the grossest part of this, but yeah, please start sucking. And so he says that he's saying no to masturbation, right? He says God is he said sex is one of the most beautiful things that God has given to the human person, even though he's never even
doesn't
seen.
know.
He has no idea.
He don't know about
He
sex.
doesn't even know. Does he know? Does he know what queefing is?
No.
Well, while in the favor of sex, masturbation, he still says is a big no-no.
Masturbation's a no-no?
No.
You know what's a big no-no? Having sex with children. That's a big old fat no-no.
A lot of those guys, it's a bit of a yes. They are very, very, they're super into it.
Yeah.
Criminally so. So now we are mourning the passing of Il Papu. The next one's
Morning as in it's early.
It's 2:15.
Yeah.
I think that the next pope is gonna suck.
And they have to suck.
Yeah, so I don't.
We went from Nazi to halfway decent.
Sorta. Again, I still feel like it's giving him too much credit.
There's no reason to like a pope.
No, it's like a president. It's like a king. Anybody that likes anybody that is in charge by some
It's the largest cult in the world.
So the secret group gets together and puts together. They all decide what they have interpreted, what God has told them to choose who the guy is to be pope, and they've chose multiple Nazis. They've chose multiple war criminals.
Yes.
They've chosen. It's like, so I don't want to fucking hear it. So now the next pope is going to be some other guy. It's probably going to be like. It's gonna be
Bezos.
No, I don't even know if he
There's an American
he doesn't want to
running.
live in Italy. He doesn't live in the Vatican. It's too small for him.
We might have our first American pope. I forget the guy's name, but we might get an American
great.
in there.
Oh, good.
That'd be
That's
interesting.
what we need. No, I don't think so. You know what I want?
I want some English out of the pope.
Robot. Robot Pope. Where's my Roomba Pope?
Roomba Pope?
Yeah, they got Roombas that can mop now. Where's my Roomba Pope? Yeah, you
just
got this.
put a hat on a Roomba.
Yeah,
like
fuck
goes
these
around.
guys. They're all saying the same thing. We might have our first. There was a talk about having our first African Pope,
but they didn't like how he that Francis approved of same-sex couples.
No, they are going to choose somebody that's very bad.
You know what I like about Francis's death? Why a thing that he did that I find to be kind of cool is he said that there's always a private viewing for all the cardinals, and
Yes.
he was like, "Fuck that shit. They don't get that." I think it's take anything away, change anything is all I'm saying.
How about change something that matters?
You start small.
I guess that's my question. It's like, I guess where everyone wants me to give him credit, and I guess it's just
shit smug.
Yeah,
face.
fuck all of
Who's
these
this guy?
people.
Cardinal Matteo Zappi.
Every single time I see one of their little tiny hats, I get angry. I hate the Cardinals' tiny hats.
Yeah, what's the thing? Why do they all have origami hats?
I'm so
Did
sick
they
of
have
the-
like a class and they all made their hats together and now they have to wear it?
You work at In-N-Out, or is that just what you do with kids?
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting pieces of shit.
I like that. That's
I'm
nice.
just-
That's good.
I know,
Took
I'm
me
sorry.
2 seconds, but that was fun.
Legitimately, I am trying to dial back the molestation jokes because that's our act on the road.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil those bits. So it's just this idea of I don't care that the Pope is dead. I'm glad that he's dead, but unfortunately it just opens it up
do
to
you
another.
not care or are you glad?
No, I just don't.
There's one or the other.
I'm mad that there's going to have to be a new choice. You know what this is again? This is another British wedding. This is another royal wedding fucking garbage. This is another, the queen's dead. I'm going to have to watch 5 hours of fucking dragging her wrinkly ass across fucking the bridge.
Yeah.
You go dump her in the river or whatever they
that
did.
was fun to look at the dead queen for so long.
It is another thing that the whole world has to stop and give a shit about that I'm sick of. I'm sick of these things. I want to talk about
What?
how we helped Ryan Coogler's Sinners do very well in the box office.
Oh!
See, that's the difference. That's
An original horror movie, big budget.
Yeah, dude. That's the
made
news,
some fucking
dude.
cash, dude.
That's the fucking news.
This is a great year for between this and The Substance and Nosferatu. This is a fucking big year for horror movies coming back to the mainstream where they fucking belong.
I am also going to confess that I am buying time in this recording, waiting with the verdict watch open for the Lori Vallow trial on my YouTube.
I wonder what Mr. Kugler thinks about that.
Let me ask him. He probably.
Rob, call Kugler.
Pull
Pull up the Kugler phone.
But no, I've been sitting here because of what I was also hoping for in another first for Side Stories, that verdict would come in on time.
We have a couple minutes left. You never know what's going to happen. Rob's watching. I don't think we're going to know for a week. I think there's one fucking asshole in there being an asshole.
I actually don't know if it can go that long. I think it really can only be like the fact that it's taking longer than 15 minutes to decide that she's guilty is one of the biggest travesties I have ever seen.
Do they have the death penalty in Arizona? Could she get the death penalty for this?
She is not there. She's not up for death penalty because this is just a conspiracy trial.
Oh, okay.
So this is just
saying that she's like involved.
She orchestrated the conspiracy. Now, I can see how you can convince maybe some of the less bright members of the jury pool that there is a reasonable doubt, right? Like, because the main issue is that the prosecutor put out all of this circumstantial evidence, which is the texts.
Yeah.
But the texts tell the entire story of a person going ahead and planning. Like, she was the mastermind. She was the one pulling all the elements together. She was the one that told Alex to get the gun. She was the one that made sure that her other bestie got pulled her brother out of the scenarios, that Charles Vallow would make sure that he would show up alone to the house.
Yeah.
She was the one that told Tylee to fake coming out with the baseball bat in order to distract
text messages?
No, but it's insinuated. And the problem is that it just depends on how difficult a jury wants to be.
Yeah.
Because they
don't know that she killed her kids.
Ostensibly, they don't know.
Do you think like at the end of this, they're going to be like, what? She killed those fucking kids?
I think so, yes.
I would have changed my goddamn vote.
Exactly, which is the reason why they didn't want it in there. And it's because they're trying to figure out if you can. But this is one of those really hard lines because there was no person seeing a meeting of them together orchestrating the plan.
Yeah.
There's nobody from within the plan to testify because guess what?
They're dead.
Everybody's dead.
And
no one's asking about that. No one's asking where's Tylee? Why didn't she talk?
Mm-hmm.
And they know Alex is dead, but they're like, where's everybody else? Where's Chad Daybell's wife?
Where's Daybell in general?
Chad Daybell, Chad Daybell, the prosecutor specifically carved out because they did not. Number one, he's not going to come. It's his right to plead the fifth because he's married to Lori Vallow, because he was still legally married to her. So it's his right to not testify. No lawyer of his would tell him to go testify because he's trying to fight his death penalty.
Oh, he's getting shot in the head. We all know that.
Oh, can't wait. Oh man, let me do it. And then the next ones but that's kind of the issue now is that any one of those pieces of information, if Lori Vallow were to bring up, would allow the prosecutor to open up the story and bring in the story of her killing her kids, which is what Lori Vallow kept trying to fight. And then, as you could see, the reason why she did not end up testifying on the stand, and the reason why she didn't end up testifying, which is, I did find an interesting statistic, is that 90% of defense trials that don't include the defendant testifying on their behalf, they end up losing the case.
Wow.
So it's the fact that she didn't testify says a lot to the jury. And because the reason why she didn't testify is because she didn't want to be under control of having to answer questions from the prosecutor.
Could she ask herself questions if she testified?
She would do one or the other. It's actually, I had to look this up. It's either she would have a set of written questions that would be asked by her. She has an assisting lawyer.
Okay.
She has somebody that's kind of helping her get through a lot of the processes there because she doesn't have a law degree and she's a fucking moron and a homicidal maniac. And so she
did a good job, though.
She did not.
I mean, they're still deliberating.
The only reason why they're deliberating
for 2.5 hours today.
They're just doing it because they are a pain in the butt. They are doing it because it's a pain in the butt. They legitimately, she did such a horrendous job of doing what she was needing to do. It just really depends on, and I mean this as nicely as possible, how dumb the jury is.
Man, I'll tell you what.
It depends on how dumb or how difficult the jury wants to be.
If I can give you a little brighter side to this, if she does get off, first of all, she's in prison for the rest of her life, no matter what, so it doesn't even matter. But if she does get off, I think it'll influence a lot more idiots to defend themselves.
Always.
And then they'll end up losing.
Well, I mean, there is just no way she's going to win. There's just no way, but we'll find out. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what they said.
The answer should be in by now.
Well, no, not necessarily. Right now, it's at 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 2.5 hours. They said that in Idaho, she got 7 hours. It took them to decide that she was guilty in Idaho.
Okay.
And also, it was a much longer trial.
But she didn't represent herself in that.
No, and it was a much thicker trial.
Yeah.
But this one, it's just, I don't understand. It's obviously, it's slightly less of a sentence too. But I do think that once they find out that after the fact that she's murdered her children, they're going to be pretty upset if they let her go on this one.
Oh, my God.
We still don't know where that is. We just don't know where it is. And Lori Vallow, so the answer is she can have answers. She can have questions that her assisting attorney can answer to her. And then there's other things that you can do. Sometimes they allow you to testify to a narrative where they allow you to just extemporaneously talk. Where you can just
monologue at the
jury. She can.
Both of us almost said audience.
Yes,
We're
it
such
is.
fucking performers.
But that's all it would be. That's all it is. But then, but the problem again is that then she would be open to cross-examination, and the last thing that she wanted was to be spoken to by another woman, which is the saddest thing. I think in the end, she definitely hates this prosecuting attorney.
Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier than watching this prosecuting attorney nail her to a fucking wall. But it's just, it's not going to happen.
The poll on Law and Crime Network, 28,000 votes, guilty by 94%, not guilty 2%,
Well, it's 'cause-
hung jury 4%.
It's because the audience knows she kills her kids.
Yes.
The
we know.
audience knows she's already a convicted murderer.
Yeah.
But the jury has to know that she is a prisoner. So they know she's a prisoner already, but they don't know what of.
Yes.
They don't know what for. They technically.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
know that she's led in every day in handcuffs and taking them off. She knows she's wearing a body shock vest.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, just in case she
But
lunges.
she's dressed nicely, though.
Yes, because that is her right. Because she's in trial, the goal is that that's one of those things they talk about is about how it might influence the jury to see you in prison wear.
Yeah. No,
Because
for sure.
on her, looks great. She fucking deserves every
So what
fucking
happens
minute
if she's
of it.
not guilty? Just like there's this flawed justice system and that's it?
No, it's like technically the justice system does what it does.
Yeah.
So it's up to the jury. It is up to the jury. You can't do anything about the issues of humankind
Does
not
the
understanding
case
things.
open back up and they start looking for Charles Vallow's murderer
No,
again?
they don't know.
No, they
No,
just-
because Alex killed him. Essentially, Alex is the murderer.
yeah.
But Alex isn't there because Alex is dead, which they also did not talk about how he died.
Oh,
We know that they said that he died by natural causes, which is still true.
pink juice out the lungs.
Yes, that's still true, but doesn't necessarily mean that it was natural. Because I still think it's very possible that he committed
Poisoned
suicide.
or suicide or something like
Yeah.
that. Did he get an autopsy? I don't remember.
I think it worked as that because at that time they thought it was all. I think that they were so certain
That
it
a
was
heart
natural
attack?
causes. Well, brain aneurysm.
Brain
Called
aneurysm?
pulmonary aneurysm or something like that, which is the same thing that I guess that Tammy Daybell had, even though they opened that one up.
Interesting. So Alex probably was murdered as well, but we just no way to know for sure.
No way.
Especially if he died the same way as Tammy.
Mm-hmm. Or at least sounds like it.
Yeah.
But so this is going to play out, but I cannot imagine she's not going to be.
What
guilty.
was Tammy's official cause of death again?
I think again it was considered suspicious. At first, it was considered pulmonary embolism, and then it was suspicious.
And then Daybell, Chad got
for it.
got for it.
Yes. So Chad Daybell's already gone all the way. Now they're saying that she was asphyxiated.
Oh, okay.
So she was. That's what they tried to say.
Oh, that's right, because they dug her up and they found the marks on her and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
They found the bone
That's
broken in her
right.
throat.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's almost like we did a whole thing about this.
It's almost like we did a month on this. There's so much. Oh man, so much flying around.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of information.
Woman posing as ICE agent kidnaps ex's wife.
Yeah, this is a full on, like, she had a costume and a character.
Oh my God.
The whole thing.
All right, with detentions by immigration and customs enforcement agents in the headlines, a woman in Florida decided to don an ice shirt and kidnap, might have been icy. It might have been like a Slurpee shirt.
Yeah, like the old Slurpee shirts.
They kidnap her ex-boyfriend's wife. LaTrance Battle, 52, showed off the shirt and held a handheld radio when she showed up at a hotel chain where the woman worked on April 10th, according to Bay County Sheriff's Office. She also allegedly presented a business card indicating that she worked for the sheriff's office and told the employee she was there to pick her up.
This is too easy.
Yes, the victim, in the process of becoming a legal U.S. resident, got into the vehicle with Battle, believing her to be a real ICE agent, so she's just terrified, and she gets in there. Once in the vehicle, the woman tried to call her husband and lawyer, but Battle forcefully snatched the phone from her hand, deputies wrote in the arrest affidavit. They added the victim became suspicious after Battle drove past the sheriff's office and made comments indicating the woman would have to suffer the consequences of her husband's actions.
Oh shit, dude.
Yes.
That's bad. This is like, ladies get angry, man.
Yeah, dude. This is fucking wild.
You know what I'll say? I really appreciate that a woman's doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not a man.
And it's costumes.
Yeah.
I do like theater. You
Because
know?
most dudes are the ones that go this far.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a lady really go for it. Because
True jealousy.
most of the time, you just got to get a new hair color,
Yeah.
and you feel better.
She took her to an apartment complex and then she was able to contact a resident there who called for help. So not a Red Roof Inn. So someone saw that, she was in trouble and they called the police for her. So that's nice.
Oh, yes.
When the woman was able to speak to her husband again, he told her the apparent ICE agent sounded a lot like his ex, a woman he said attacked him at his job 2 years earlier. So that's her move. She shows up at your job and fucks with you.
That's where everybody's super vulnerable. You remember back in the day in high school, did you ever play Mafia?
No.
Did you ever do the
But
thing
I know
where
what
you
it
had-
is.
when people would have, like, you'd get a hit and then you had to hit somebody? Like, we used to do this in high school where it's like, like certain places were safe zones, but everybody who was playing had a water pistol and you could whack somebody.
Yeah.
Like, do a thing, and then when you whack somebody, they give you who they were supposed to whack, and then you go do it again and again.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
But if work was supposed to be off limits,
Yeah.
that's what this lady doesn't get.
She doesn't know the rules of Mafia. She just knows the rules of ICE.
Yeah.
Show up to our schools, apparently.
Yeah, that's what they like.
When then she was fleeing to Alabama, she got caught and she was charged with kidnapping in commission of a felony, robbery by sudden snatching, impersonating a law officer, and the commission of a felony and felony violation of probation. So she's fucked.
Wow. That's just like, that's a long way to go to get revenge. You really don't need to do all that much for that much
What
revenge.
was her plan, though?
I just think...
Was she going to try and deport this woman?
I think that she was going to try to be honest, I think that she was rolling for as long as she could with just kind of improvising, saying yes and to herself.
Yeah.
And then I think eventually she realized, like, oh, this isn't going to play out unless I kill this woman.
Yeah, I think it's good. If you're going to commit a crime, I think it's good to have a goal.
It's like writing a book. It's like writing a book. That's what Stephen King said. Stephen King said the key to writing a book is knowing the ending.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, everything else you'll figure out. But if you know the beginning and the ending, you could do a lot to get from A to Z. And so that's the main thing. For anybody looking to a long con, think of the ending in mind. And also, 2, take the complications out of it. You can just grab the woman coming out of work and putting her in the back of your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need to get a costume. You don't need licenses or any of that stuff. You can't just whack her in the back of the head when she's coming out of a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say also, that's not advice.
No, as much as it's just, what are you doing here, lady?
It just think about if you're going to do a crime, just understand that it's going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep going. And I have one other story I want to do.
Oh, all right, please.
Arizona is not a friendly place. And nothing really says that quite like this story.
They're about to let Lori Vallow off.
I mean, I know. So
How
friendly, so
friendly.
allowing.
Any updates, Rob?
Nope, not yet.
No,
He's
these fucking
still deliberating. These fucking
slow
assholes.
ass pieces of
So
fucking shit.
idiots.
So here we go. So in Arizona, a guy by the name of Daniel Lanks. This is in Phoenix. Now I didn't realize that this is just aggravated assault. Facing felon, this guy, he's facing felony aggravated assault. He had an unprovoked attack. A cop said, so people came up to him. A guy came up to him and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" And then Daniel Lanks pulled his eyeball out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The victim
and then
stated,
beat the shit out of him after that.
oh, yes, because once you pull the eyeball out, the guy's pretty surprised. The victim stated that during this incident, he was in fear for his life and safety, believing that Daniel could have killed him. Absolutely. He popped your eyeball out.
Yeah.
Also, popping an eyeball out, it's not that hard.
Yeah, no, that's what I hear.
Get the thumb in there.
Or you just hit the side really hard.
The key, I want to just like, That's what my dad always said. Go for fucking eyes and balls.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice of him. That's
He was
good
correct.
advice. My buddy's dad taught me how to fight, and he when I got my car, he gave me a cue ball, and I said, and then he was like, I was like, what do I do with this? He's like, oh, you keep it in your trunk in case anyone tries to run from you.
Oh, wow, good. Yeah, you know me. Always hunting people down to the ends of the earth. Yes. He said he just went up to him. He just because what crime? Where is there a crime? Daniel Lanks, 39, older than him.
Yeah.
That's where I'm starting to get upset. When I'm starting to see that I'm older than some of our criminals.
Oh, yes. Well,
So it makes me upset.
That's why I can't watch sports anymore.
I know. I just
They're
can't
all
watch
children.
I can't watch children do anything.
But yeah, no, I mean, this guy, he fucking, how you doing? And then rips his goddamn eyeball. I mean, he was obviously doing bad.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm stressed. You know, he doesn't even really say how he popped it out.
He reached from behind him and scooped it.
But that's crazy.
It is really crazy.
That's a crazy way to do it.
He must have done it before.
Do you think? And I don't mean that. I'm not blaming the victim at all.
No.
Is it any way I was loose?
Oh, just a little loose. You might have had big sockets.
Yeah.
I think your eyes are so deep in your head, they'd be really hard to get out.
Super hard to get.
Yeah, and that's a challenge to you people.
Try to come and scoop my eyes. I dare you to try to scoop my eyes. You'll never get near enough to my eyes to scoop them. My eyeballs are always moving around.
We need some grill tongs to get him out. But after he fucking took this guy's eyeball out, he fell to the ground, started screaming, my eye, my eye. And then he just started punching him in the face and broke his fucking jaw.
Yes.
That is a brutal fucking attack.
Lanks was apparently, he was near a shop at the intersection of Broadway and 48th Street. It was around 1 a.m. And the victim walked
Don't
past
talk
him.
to anyone past midnight.
Again, I'm not victim blaming, but...
Not victim. No, it's his advice. This isn't victim blaming. This is just straight up advice.
Well, I will say, you don't do the head nod to any kind of man.
Head nod, that's only, literally, a head nod is am I supposed to be scared of you right now?
Yes, but
that's what a head nod is.
A head nod is a communication.
I see you.
Between men.
Yeah.
We're acknowledging each other's presence, and you just go like I just came from up north in Oscoda, up north in Michigan, Oscoda. I just also, big shout out to the American Glory growers.
Yes.
I actually got actual good weed grown by hand from a place dead in the middle of nowhere.
Amazing.
Fucking Michigan. It was great stuff. Go check it out. But the idea that you could so you're talking to another man. Sometimes you got to give somebody the head nod, right? I feel that's with men communicating to each other, right? It's good to do. It's good to leave.
Do you think
these
he
things
was
up.
whistling?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
But you don't. The key is yes, never verbal, because it does seem to enter into a thing. So he said, "Hey, how you doing?" Lanks then said, "I'm gonna whoop your ass," which is not a proper response.
No, it's rude.
He said Daniel told detectives to shut the fuck up. He did not understand his rights. And yes, he said, "How you doing?" And then he turned around here and he popped the eyeball out of him.
And he has an eye tattoo.
Maybe that's what he was jealous of.
Yeah. He's like, I should have got that tattoo. What is that? New York Yankees? What is that?
No, it looks like it's
flowers.
I think it looks like what's it's like a dandelion plant.
Oh, weird.
Oh,
or is it
cute.
like a cactus?
Oh, I wonder if that's his spirit animal.
I think he covered up a teardrop.
Oh,
I think he covered up a teardrop. Yeah,
but that
a
doesn't
couple
make sense, though.
teardrops.
Why would you cover up the teardrop? Isn't the teardrop supposed to let everybody know you killed somebody in prison?
Yeah.
Isn't that what a teardrop is?
I got teardrop tattoo next to my brown eye for all the dookies I've slain.
Ugh, God, damn. It's the poor tattooer having to get in there. It's a God.
He was able to model it after his own teardrop
Whoa.
because he was crying.
Lonely teardrops. Is that what that song's about?
Yeah.
Oh, our tears will never dry. Lonely teardrops. That was actually one of the first Motown hits.
Oh, really?
We learned that. It was written by, what's his name? It was written by Berry Gordy.
Man, what a great time at the Motown Museum.
Yeah, we went to the Motown Museum. We had a great weekend.
Detroit's wonderful.
Yeah, we had a fucking awesome
Oh,
time.
my God. What was that? Hot Sam's?
Hot Sam's. I told you all about Hot Sam's.
Dude, Henry and I are looking sharp. Not right now, but when we want to dress up again, we bought some really nice clothes.
I love Hot Sam's.
That was a very cool place.
Yeah, that place-
Go to Hot Sam's if you're in Detroit.
Go check it out. Go check it out.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to remind people of. Go check out The Foreign Report
Oh,
on
yeah.
its own YouTube channel. So this is the thing we're trying to do here at Last Podcast Network, which is we're trying to give some of our shows that are not as similar to Last Podcast and the others more of a chance to thrive in the internet space. So that is requiring us to put them on their own little channels. Please go and subscribe to The Foreign Report on YouTube.
I'll go do that right now.
Good.
Man, Sina Ghaznavi is the smartest person I know.
He is very smart.
He's right. Yeah, well, him and Marcus, but that's no offense to either one of you. But they're smarter.
That's not my job. That's not my job.
Travis is great on there too.
Travis is great. Travis is great everywhere. But I love the Forum Report because it really does show every side of the news.
It really
I really
does.
appreciate
They're
it.
actually an educated, level-headed response to global news, and it is extremely. It's great. It's
with
a great
no
show.
agenda.
None.
Yeah. It's
No.
great. They
and you
hate
always
everyone
know-
equally.
Well, the best part is that when you get everybody angry, that's how you know you're right. When everybody's angry, that's how you know you're correct. So now we have a special guest who's going to join us here in the Last Podcast in the Left Studios. A man, an intrepid leader in the UFO space, Captain Ron Janix of Contact in the Desert. He's going to be here. We're going to be jawing with him a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, because we're going to promo and talk about our eventual, multiple shows we're doing in Contact in the Desert.
Multiple shows.
And Ron's been doing it every year, right?
Yeah, for a dozen years. So we're going to find out all about the backstage shenanigans of Contact and why you should come out and see it, because it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be amazing. And we're going to be out there from, I believe, May 30th to June 2nd.
Yay.
I think is the correct date.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, we got our whole comedy show, and then we have a Last Podcast proper show.
Yep.
It's going to be where we're going to interview, and we're going to have a good time.
We're better. We fucking better.
Yeah, man. I love this shit. Contact in the Desert is such a crazy, fun experience.
I love it.
It was last year when we did it. It was with the time where I was oh my God, this is I'm involved in something crazy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So here we go. Now we will hear from Captain Ron. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we promised you this. We have Captain Ron Janix from Contact in the Desert. Now, this man has experienced too much truth at once. Now, you've been doing Contact in the Desert for how long?
This is our third year.
But this is your third year, right, of the entire time.
For owning it. But
yes.
Oh,
I've been involved in it since 2015, 16. I was a host, and I got to know the old owners, and I would host and participate. And so I've been going there. It's been my favorite week of the year for about 10 years.
Is there anything else that you do? Are you a Burning Man guy?
I've never done Burning Man. Now, I did do, Contact in the Desert used to be like Burning Man. It was literally physically in the desert. It was at Joshua Tree State Park.
Cool.
Literally. And you'd walk from little hut to little hut to see the different speakers. It was 120 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Because it's in the desert. You're literally walking over cactus. Literally. And Joshua trees.
But wait, was that did you have the same crew there then? Because now you have
it's
George
gotten
Nelly
bigger.
and George Knapp. Now you're having the
Can't put
luminaries
George
of it.
Knapp out there.
Yeah, no.
He's got nice shoes.
They've had Nori and those guys have been going the whole time. They went out to the desert. Absolutely.
Knapp's the legit though. Knapp's hardcore.
Oh, I know. I've seen the documentaries. He's a man.
Knapp's one of my favorite guys in the whole field, for sure.
very
He's
cool.
a genuine investigator.
We might get invited to his home.
Great.
We're trying to force it.
He's in Vegas.
Have you ever been?
Not to his house, but I've seen him in Vegas. He's great.
Okay.
Have you ever done a thing I just wouldn't just straight
I've done
up,
a thing before.
Have
yeah.
you done a thing?
Have you
or
ever
two?
done a thing?
Never.
Never. He hates.
I'm a novice. I don't. First of all, yeah, I want to get that out of there. I'm not an expert in this field. I'm very much a student, and I'm having a great time learning. Then Contact in the Desert really taught me a lot and opened up my eyes last year.
You can digest a lot in those 5 days. That's how it was for me. I mean, when I first went to that, I saw a flyer once, and all these names were on it, like Van Danigan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those guys. Like, I gotta go see this. And then it was just like so much thrown at me at once. You can really ramp up your knowledge quickly in 5 days.
Were you always into UFOs? Like, what got you to all this?
You know, I never had an experience. I'm not an experiencer or anything like that, but I've always had a curiosity to that. I always like things that are unknown. I like those shows In Search Of. Anything that's like that. I liked Art Bell, if you guys remember Art Bell.
He's my patron saint.
There you go.
Yeah, and Marcus Burks is currently
that stuff.
Oh,
and I kind of fell into a buddy of mine. He had a podcast about UFOs. He's like, "You're really into this. Why don't you come on?" And then we did Truth Be Told together for years and years and years. So I just, and you know, the more you do it, every time you interview somebody, you learn that much more. Maybe you read their book before they come on, or you read stuff about them, you watch their lectures, and you just grows.
Were you a stand-up? Like, did you do comedy? Because you're very funny. Did you do stuff like that? Like, what were you doing like that got you to decide that you wanted to talk about it? Because a lot of guys get into the material, but they're not microphone or camera ready.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. I was a personal assistant for 20 years, working for like celebrities in Hollywood. So I never really was in front of the camera or any of that. I never.
So you're used to harboring secrets.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm the behind the scenes guy. Absolutely. I was always behind the scenes, but it doesn't bother me. I'm open to either role.
You'd never guess. I saw you like running stuff last year. You were like emceeing, like, it's like, oh, there's Nick Pope. Come on up here. You bring him on stage. You make him uncomfortable. Answer some questions. I love it. It was great. It was like a true like oh, it almost. You know what it reminded me of? Playboy After Dark.
There you go. No one has ever said that about Contact in the Desert before. That's for sure.
I'm still not ready to say it, Ron. But I will follow it up.
Yeah.
I will.
But it's like, you're just walking around.
You know what?
You're schmoozing with people. You lean on a table like, hey, Whitley, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I've been doing this now for about 14, 15 years. I've interviewed all these guys. I've got to know some of them and become friendly with them. And we almost feels like to us that Contact in the Desert is sort of like a banquet.
Yeah.
For a community. It's almost like an annual thing that we know we all go there. We all meet here. What have you been working on this year? What have you been doing? A lot of these guys know each other. Some of them don't see each other till Contact next year.
I feel like there should be a yearbook.
It almost, you know what I mean?
Do you ever do, like, through all of this process, like, there's one side of you, obviously, you run and you're the proprietor of Contact in the Desert. So that's one side of you. On the other side of you, you've been experiencing these people at the center of ufology personally for 15 years. Where has it taken your beliefs?
Well, I'll tell you what, my whole life, I am right here, man. I am right in the middle. I am the middle of all of this. So I'm very skeptical, but I'm very open-minded. A lot of these guys have gone on some of these other shows and they want me to say provocative stuff. They're like, what's the craziest thing you'll say?
Sure.
And I'm like, you got the wrong guy. I'm not that guy, man.
I mean,
I'm
people
right in the middle.
Same with us, where it's like, I am one of those, what I like to view as I'm across the board agnostic.
Well done. Now, I will say this. I will say in the 15-year period that we're talking about, I have moved more towards belief that there's definitely something going on. I've always thought there's something going on. Now I really feel, you know what, there's more to this than we see. Because it's one of those things, you can't have a cursory knowledge of UFOs. Like if you talk to somebody on the street, oh yeah, I've heard of Roswell, you don't know about UFOs. When you interview these guys, when you read these books, when you deep dive into this, it's a layered onion, as you know. So you start getting more knowledge in this area. There's some serious shit going on here. And, I've had the honor of talking to people like Avi Loeb.
Yes.
You don't get to be the top of astronomy at Harvard without knowing something. And he says it's most likely that somebody's going to be coming here. Why is he saying that? I give credence to these guys where I think some people dismiss those guys, and that's not right.
Yeah. Because part of me wonders at this point, like, so is there what's one piece of evidence or a piece of information would you say that really kind of kicked you over the line?
Okay, I'll tell you right now. I hate this because it's the cliche, and I answer it the same always. But it is Roswell. And if you read the Roswell books that Don Schmidt and Tom Carey have put together, their research is incredible. And they've interviewed these guys over and over, and they all fit into this perfect narrative. I mean, the idea that they interview the guy that runs the funeral home in that town, and at that night that Roswell crashed, he got a call at 3 a.m. and we need caskets. Bring him out here. Well, was there a car crash? Don't worry about it. Just bring him over. Well, I mean, that just fits so perfectly into the story. Who's going to make that up?
Yeah.
Who's going to think of this? And Art Bell read the deathbed confession of that colonel.
Was it Philip? Was it not
HURNT or something like that? He says, I wrote this for my granddaughter to know that we're not alone in the universe because I saw the bodies and I saw the ship and I saw this, but I didn't want any of the bullshit and I was threatened. Why would somebody do that?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
No.
So I find
if
that
anything,
extremely
you'd say
compelling.
it was all fake. You know,
you
like,
do it for the money. You
Yeah.
want to get fame. You want to get a book. Not that anybody makes any money on this shit, but they think that.
yeah.
So somebody like that, to me, that's compelling to me. I don't know why people aren't more compelled by some of these things.
Yeah.
John Mack, you guys familiar with John Mack?
Yes.
Head of psychiatry at Harvard. Another guy who went to look at this phenomenon and said, I'm going to explain, since he's at the top of psychiatry in the world.
He was. Yeah, this is another guy that had his career ruined by his interest in UFOs because he was a legit guy.
A legit guy.
That wanted to talk to experiencers.
So why do we take this guy as being at the top of his game, and he's this highly respected guy, and then he sets out to say, I'm going to figure out what's wrong with these people. It must be another phenomenon.
Yeah.
And then he looked into it and he said, no, that's not what it is. Something really is happening to them. So if this guy's the top of his class, top in the world of this, why don't we then take his answer? All of a sudden, he's crazy.
Yeah.
That must be nonsense.
And he's a professional bullshit detector.
That's bullshit to me.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. If you guys can't take John Mack at his word or Avi Loeb at his word or these guys, then why do we even have academia? Why do these guys raise to that level?
Exactly. I do think that that's really interesting. And I also wonder, in the last 15 years, has anybody, because what I'll get, even on my level, I'll get somebody who's like,
Your level, you mean like
low level?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. I get people sending me stuff that they're like, what's your, like, don't let anybody know about this. I have secret information. You have to look at this thing. What's like a thing? Like, how often does that happen to you?
That does occasionally happen to me. What happens more often to me, see if this ever happens to you guys, I'll meet somebody I don't know, or I'll be wherever, and maybe they find out what I do, or they ask what I do, and I tell them. And they'll immediately be like, well, no, I don't believe in any of that nonsense. That's all bullshit. I swear to God, I've told the story 100 times. I swear it's true. Mm-hmm. They do that old Columbo routine where they go, no, that's... You know, there's this one time.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I was up late at night. My dad and I were fishing. It was dark. And this thing came across the sky. Wait a minute ago, this was nonsense. And then you have a personal... I don't even have that.
Yeah.
They have it. It's very common that people have an experience.
Oh, yeah.
Or my mom told me a story when I was a little girl. You know, you hear these things. It's amazing how prolific that is.
So let me ask you something. As someone who obviously believes you're the owner, co-owner of Contact in the Desert, you've never had an experience. Are you like actively looking at the skies, or you just go about your day?
No, I'm not that guy. I'm somebody that puts credence into what Avi Loeb says, credence into John Mack says. I think Travis Walton is awesome.
Yeah.
I got to know Travis Walton. I did a whole special thing on his 45th anniversary. I brought his brother back in. I brought the original people in. We had a big thing. Pretty freaking believable, man.
I mean, Travis Walton's honestly the thing that switched me at Contact last year, because it's just like the other guys have no reason to lie. the other guy, they all told the same story. And I love that, like, Travis Walton, when he gets out of the car, he's looking at the ship and he's talking shit. He's yelling at him. He's throwing shit. He's fucking screaming. They kicked his ass. They brought him out. And then he comes back without a scratch.
All of this is plausible to me. All of this makes sense. Exactly, those guys would be like that. Of course, those guys would take off. Of course, they'd be scared. All of it's very plausible to me. Even Roswell's plausible. And there's so many of these ancillary things that fit in. The Travis Walton case, it's also great that there's one incident.
Yes.
I'll tell you another thing for me personally that I probably shouldn't say because this will bite me in the ass. But when you come to me and you're Travis Walton and you say, listen, this one day, this one thing happened to me. I was out in the woods. This ship was there. I got beamed on, and that was it. Maybe lightning strikes. It's these guys I can't stand that. Oh, I've been to Mars, and I've worked on alien bodies, and I've been underground on spaceships, and I've been underground on Earth with the military working on this, and I've operated on alien bodies, and I've got implants. Okay.
Yeah. Can I ask? I want to ask your opinion then. With stuff, guys like that, I'm torn because I think that guys like that, obviously, they believe the more details they throw into some kind of story, that the more real it sounds. But I actually also wonder, like, what do you think their other motives are? Because number one, people always say, oh, money. They sell book rights. Let me straighten it out for you. There's not a heck of a lot of money in ufology, especially in the book markets. And then two, the idea of just for attention? Like, I do understand people lie for that attention, but I also wonder if there's ever something to this idea that there is some massive, like we just did the Montauk Project.
Yeah.
Preston Nichols.
Sure.
Total, God knows what's going on with this guy. But on some level, you almost kind of wonder, like, what if something did happen to him and then the U.S. government, like, did some kind of erroneous experiment, fucked up his life, scrambled his brains, and then dropped him back into a Long Island park. And now he's this babbling guy, this crazy sounding guy, but he actually was a part of something. Like,
it could be a natural psychosis. It could be, MK Ultra type stuff where they fuck with people, which they have done, and they've come out and it's proven that they've done these kind of things. So, I don't like to dismiss anybody's story completely out of hand because, maybe these guys that I'm referring to, maybe it's genuine. Maybe that's possible. I don't lean that it is. I wouldn't bet a nickel that it is. I don't think that is. It feels very disingenuous. That's a 1 in a billion chance that something can happen to you. You've had 9 of those happen to you. Yeah. Now the math is in the multi-trillions, and that's hard.
It's like you, Philip Schneider, you're the special one. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard.
And you shot him, and you got away, and these other guys came, and all the it's like, well, no. That's why I like Travis's case. I like these individual cases. One time with... You know what? Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's very plausible to me.
And it's not like he was into it beforehand. Like it's
right.
That's
none of those guys were. They didn't even know about this.
No. Yeah. And so that's what's convincing to me. And also it's just the problem is with all of this is if you're gonna take it seriously, you do have to listen to everybody. No matter how absurd it sounds.
Absolutely.
And you have to investigate. You have to take it all seriously. You have to investigate all of it. And it's very time consuming because a lot of people come in there with crazy stuff.
Guess what sucks? What? Now you add misinformation. You have misidentification, which is 95% of the cases. Mm-hmm. But then you have misinformation. Then you have intentional Richard Doty disinformation.
Yep. Yeah.
Now that's really clouding the water. So it makes it even harder to get to the truth. I always think that a lot of these things, there's 10% truth in it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, and then when I hear it over and over, I mean, why are these abduction stories throughout history, word for word? If you ever read Communion, there's some great pieces in Communion where Whitley he writes passages that people wrote hundreds of years ago that sound like an alien abduction case from today.
Oh, I completely agree.
So that's credible.
Yes. Something's been going on. I'm a Jacques Vallée.
Yeah.
Like a student, I totally believe there's some kind of either physical / psychic phenomena that follows our consciousness, whatever the hell it is. I don't quite know. Like, I wonder now, like, do you feel like with stuff like this, have you ever felt that the Men in Black or anything like the idea of like, do you think that the government ever fuck with contact?
At Contact in the Desert?
Yeah.
I don't think they fucked with it at all, but I mean, I've heard from many people, including Nick Pope, that there are DOD officials that have shown up at Contact in the Desert. And it makes perfect sense to me. Do you know what I think? What do you guys think of Arrow?
I think that this whole thing got outed, and that they have been trying to figure out how to package it in a way that makes sense. Yeah. And I also think that Lou Elizondo's influence might have been less than he puts himself into the scenario.
Something like Arrow to me, which is garbage, I don't think it's to share the information with us. It's, I want to see what you guys have.
Yeah.
They want to collect everything so that they know what people have.
But one of the biggest questions I always have is, okay, let's say the U.S. government is right. There's no such thing as UFO activity. Everything they've come out and said is correct. It's like, we're not doing. But then why have they put so much time and effort in discrediting all these movements? Right.
Why are there these $80 million programs that there's nothing to see here. If there's nothing to see, okay, not only that, adding exactly to what you said, Henry. So in 2023, they had the Schumer bill, the UAP disclosure bill.
Yeah.
And then in December, they gutted it. They took all the teeth out of it. Wait a minute. If there's nothing to hide here, why do you need to gut this bill?
Well, they say it's to protect the special cameras, to protect the special ways that they.
Shit.
I just think,
there are no Bigfoot living in my apartment. And if you want to send a bill that says I'm going to look in your apartment for Bigfoot, go right ahead.
Please.
Yeah. So if you got nothing to hide, then why would you not say, come take a look? Why do we have to take all the teeth out of that? That alone is suspicious as hell to me.
Like, they released the Tic Tac footage. We've seen that, with everything that was going on with the drones last year. So it's not like the American public hasn't seen, footage that is extremely credible from the government. And what was the response? No one really cared. Right. So why are they hiding it?
Well, January 2023, look how we shot all those things out of the sky. We did all this thing over Michigan. They shot an object the size of a sedan that no one would claim above Alaska, and we were all just acting like it didn't happen because they couldn't find. And then they went to go look for the rubble, and they said, "Oh, it was a snowstorm." And then I had friends that were actually in Alaska at the time period that were like, "Sky's clear. Sky's clear." They definitely could have went and looked for that shit if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I think things like Arrow and these other things, when we say government, that's too broad of a term. I do subscribe to the idea, I think Danny Sheehan's on board with this too, is the idea that, as Dr. Stephen Greer says, that this knowledge is held in a black budget, unacknowledged project. It's not like government employees know this about. It's not like when we say the government.
It's private.
Yeah, right. So if this knowledge is held in a small group. Throughout history, whoever had the best technology won the war. It's been that way since the dawn of man. 200,000 years ago, it's been that way since.
Since the bow and arrow, yeah.
Previous to that, in 2001, they had the bone. That was enough. You had a better technology than the other idiot. So I think that's been going. So if you have this knowledge, why would you share it? So I don't think most people in government or even people at Arrow, they do have plausible deniability because they're not going to put the guy that really does know in charge of it.
Yeah, because
they're going to put some jackass that doesn't know anything.
Because a lot of times they're not good talkers. They're not good talkers either.
That's by design.
Yeah.
They're not going to put some guy that really knows the dirty secrets and really has that information and is a great talker. They're not going to do that. So to me, that's how I feel about it.
Is there anything that's appeared at Contact that has truly blown your mind? Also, for the people that don't know, Daniel Sheehan is a very influential lawyer that was a part of, he worked on, I believe, Watergate. He was a part of the whole Silkwood case.
Iran-Contra.
Wow.
He did a lot of fucking stuff. He worked a lot of different things. He was very important, that has now taken up the mantle of helping whistleblowers and helping people come out with UFO information. What broke him?
Well, Danny's been privy to some information, which is awesome, that makes him fully believe this.
I got to go see him talk.
Yeah.
And the way he talks about it is just like, I've seen it. You will see it one day.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. And I was like, show it to me.
He's seen it. He's been to the Vatican archives, I mean, he has seen some great. Now, here's
Now the
another
Pope's
credible
there.
guy. Talk about a credible guy. This guy's record is beyond reproach, and he's just been fighting for humanity for years. I mean, how great to have him in our corner. I mean, that is as credible as it gets.
It's just very interesting. And I just wonder if anybody else, because I saw his talk at Contact, which was great. It was fascinating, talking about all like the maneuverings of like using all these like new whistleblower laws and stuff. What else at Contact is like blown your mind?
Has anyone ever brought in anything like physical?
Yeah, we had that guy that goes by the name Alien Hunter.
Yep.
And he brought in all kinds of things that he claims are implants that he
I remember,
stuff
yeah,
like
I saw
that.
that.
It's like, maybe.
Yeah.
Those are all into the unknowable box. How would I know?
Yeah.
It might be. He's collected it over the years. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. What about like a skull or something?
Well, but we do have the crystal skull comes there. The actual Mitchell Hedges crystal skull is there, and people get to meet with them and everything. It's really cool.
Yeah, I got our auras taken. Last time we had our auras pictures taken. There's a lot of like, how do you choose what all ends up there?
Well, we have a kind of a committee of us. We all kind of think about it. We go down to Gordon's house in Mexico and we talk about these things. And, each year there's kind of things that are happening or hot. Like this year we're doing the telepathy tape lady.
Yeah,
Diane
which is
Hennessy
huge.
Paul.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's suddenly the hottest thing in the world, and it's incredible. Again, John Hopkins, Harvard, that's where she did her study. She's been studying these kids for 15 years.
Yeah.
This is incredible stuff, and it's legit. We really do want to lean into the scientific, academic side of this.
Yes.
We really separate ourselves from other events. Nothing against the other events. It's just we each have our own lane sort of a thing. Mm-hmm. Our lane is really moving. And even my podcast, Beyond Contact, which is tied to Contact,
Yeah.
we want to lean into the academic side of things. We want to interview Danny Sheehan. We want to interview historians like Richard Dolan. Let's find out the actual first document, firsthand witnesses, that kind of thing. We don't like the speculative stuff. Yes,
I appreciate you
maybe
talking to
people
us.
can talk to cats. Maybe people have been on Mars. Maybe all that's true. Let somebody else handle that. That's great. And if I'm wrong on that stuff, awesome. I'd love it.
Yeah.
We want to stick in the lane over here that's more academic, more scientific, and let's get to what's going on.
And I will say thank you so much for letting us come and ruin the festival.
Well, it was a great thing up until now. Now that you guys are part of it,
Very exciting.
we were a 5-star event. Now we're at about 0.5. I've noticed that. And the only thing that's
five's
changed,
still there.
Hey, man, that's the effect.
Yeah.
That 0.5 is really
LPL.
sticky.
What's funny about that is I was on the first podcast on the left this morning. So
I hate these fuckers.
really weird that I ended up here.
I hate those
That's right.
fuckers.
Yeah.
And after this, heaven. Is
that it?
So let me ask you, is anyone going to be talking about the drone thing this year? Because it seemed to go completely unanswered.
The drone thing went away, didn't it?
Yeah.
Awfully quick.
Yeah, and now we're just pretending like nothing. It was the only thing anyone was talking about at the beginning of this year. I know a lot of crazy shit has happened in the news, especially like the Pope died yesterday and stuff, but come on. Does anyone have a report? Does anyone what are we
Doesn't
learning
it
here?
feel like those were military drones? And doesn't it seem like
I think some of them, sure.
I think it's most likely something like a military drone that's looking for like a dirty bomb.
That's what they were. One
or the
theory.
things. That makes the most sense to me. We don't want to talk about it. Don't shoot it down. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
See,
Because they don't want to say that out loud, which makes sense.
See, I got a fun one. We did a
What do you
live
think of
show. We were did a live show, and after the live show, I was saying goodbye to people, at the end, and the guy pulls me aside, and he's like, "I work for the intelligence services, and what we are currently working on, the reason why they're not talking about what the drones were, is that they are a pilot AI flown drone squadron. That they're not only non-manned, but there's no humans involved in flying them at all."
Was it interesting meeting Richard Doty personally?
I
Was
love the
interesting?
guy.
That's cool. Yeah.
I love the guy. No, because I saw them. It's we followed it for weeks. We watched all of I was screaming. I did a whole thing on last stream on the left about nothing to see here. Certainly not a bunch of drones turning into gobbledygook and then zapping other drones out of the sky. That's not for certain.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane footage across this country,
For
across
sure.
the world.
There were guys that were renting boats and driving out just to film.
Yeah.
Just know we're going to probably do quite a bit of drone talk.
Yeah.
We drone on a lot.
Yeah. You fucking thing. I'm fucking. No, but that's a part of what we're going to. Don't worry. We'll handle the drones. Don't you worry about that.
Don't ask, don't tell. We don't tell speakers what to say at all, including shockingly you gentlemen.
Oh, yes. Have you
and
heard?
gentlemen is being very, very,
I really
I'm
appreciate
disgusted you were even called.
Did you get any, what was the response from our show? Did you get any complaints?
A lot
You
of
get
negative
any-
stuff.
A lot of negative stuff.
Yeah, good.
No, it's all good. I'm glad you guys got a sense of what contact is, because it's one thing to tell somebody, it's one thing to talk about it, but like, then you see it, it's like,
I'm converted.
oh, I get it.
Oh, dude, I would go for free. I'd buy
Do you
tickets.
not agree to this, though? Because this is something that frustrates us. People have a misconception in their brain that this is tinfoil hat, crazy people talking about crazy shit the whole time.
Yeah, it's certainly not.
You do a good job, because there are people. Obviously, it's all layers.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
So on one level, I was joking about how I came into the lobby of the hotel, and there are people that put me to shame for how driven I am about this material, right? Like, I'm seeing people. I was
they
like,
live, eat, and breathe. Yeah.
and I'm watching them all too. I was like, they're taking it so much even more seriously than me. There's a part of me that I thought we were all going to be getting drunk in the pool. Like, I thought all y'all going to be in the pool. And then when I didn't say, I was like, oh no, this is actually pretty serious. And then what was nice is like, yeah, sure, you got some, you got all spectrum. You have the whole spectrum.
It really is.
So there really is those truly, you got the grounded side. You got your Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp.
Yeah.
And then you have our friend Michael Osadona, who's
Right.
on the other side. It's like you who does also crazy stuff but it's fun because it's a part of the whole experience. And what we're going to try to do is kind of bridge those two.
Right.
The idea of like, we come knowing what we're talking about, but also we're joking about it because I don't know how else to speak.
Well, it's
And that's
also-
fine.
Yeah, it's entertainment when we're up there. We are the entertainment. We're not they're not coming to us for expert opinions. We don't have doctorates.
Right, we have Ross Coulthard for that.
Oh, but
and
dude,
that's fine. Let him be
I want
serious.
to party with him though this year. This year though, I'm getting more of these guys in the pool. I was saying that I'm like, listen, we can have these same discussions
In the
outside,
water.
in the water.
There's
It's
a
100
bar
degrees
in the center of the pool,
Dude, let's
so it
go.
works.
I feel like we should push it. There's a part of me that
we
want
were
to
in
say
there
like,
last year.
you saw me?
Yeah.
You saw my Polish body.
So I got a question about
Too
that.
much of it, to be honest.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I love being in that pool. It was a great time. Now I gotta say, I was outside at another event. It was very nice. You played ET outside for everybody, the families, and all that.
That
stuff.
was great.
That was really nice. But during the ET showing, there was some crazy crap happening in the sky.
It was
There's
all-
a bunch of blue stuff broke up there. What did you hear about
It
that?
was all SpaceX, I think. It was
yeah,
all that.
That's what we guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
I
But
mean,
talk about
to
like,
be at the place
people
watching
were
an alien
freaking
movie.
out.
Yeah,
I definitely was smoking a J out there and then watching somebody go like, there's something in the sky. And I was
Yeah.
just like, God damn it, I knew it would happen at contact.
We have those folks that see it every day, as you know, as you mentioned earlier. It's that whole gamut. And it's fun. And it's funny how things do happen at contact. It's just weird. Like even the Ross Coulthard, the first big interview he did with David Grush, happened during contact. It was the year before you guys came.
Oh.
We literally stopped the event, all poured into one room, and we all watched the live press conference together. And then Danny Sheehan and Richard Dolan went up and speakers were like in the audience asking questions. Hey, do you think he knows this? And do you think this? And why couldn't he say this? And it was awesome.
That's awesome.
So it's great that things happen there like that. And we've had people that say that CE5 has happened and they've seen things. It's awesome.
I mean, if it doesn't happen there, where the hell could it possibly happen?
If it requires that energy and that mindset, well, boy, we have it. Or else you're going to get 2,000 people together thinking about this.
Yeah. Something happens. All right. Something lands on the golf course. What's the protocol?
Who do we send? Like literally for contact
You
in the
have
desert.
everyone you
I was
need.
going to say Henry, to be honest, but I mean, I don't know.
I think only the reason why is because I feel like if they're going to destroy me, at least we don't blow George Knapp. You know what I mean? Like if I go and
That's
I get
true.
immediately zapped by lasers, technically, I've died how I lived.
Well, I think you mentioned it earlier. We would send Danny Sheehan out there as our guy, right? Wouldn't that
This
be the
is
right
my
choice?
lawyer. That would
Yeah.
be me talking to
Exactly.
the aliens. This is my lawyer.
Intergalactic law.
Talk to my lawyer.
There you go. There you go.
How do you feel about the jellyfish shapes UFOs? Have you been looking about this?
I've seen that. There's all of these. There's cigar, triangle. There's
Jellyfish, though, because these guys fight me on jellyfish.
They seem silly.
They don't like jellyfish. I utterly
it's
believe
only because they're describing that shape. It's not a jellyfish.
Yeah, I know it's not a
You don't think-
jellyfish.
Henry thinks it's a jellyfish.
No,
it's not a
shit.
jellyfish.
It's not a
it's
sky
jellyfish
yeah.
shape. It's a shape. I
It's
like
more of a
shape.
jelly
It has
bird.
debris hanging. There's some shit
Yeah.
hanging off of it. What is that?
Yes.
And it doesn't move. The debris doesn't move. The debris is stiff. You keep saying it's balloons. It's not balloons. It's a jellyfish UFO.
I say that it looks ridiculous more than I say it's balloons.
Whatever, dude. How could everybody always says balloons?
I know. There are that many balloons flying around here. You
I
know?
also no one really watches UFO footage the way I watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, how do you, I feel like,
Everyone watches it the way you watch it in the middle of the night in their underwear, stoned out of their mind.
do you not do that? Is that not how you research, Captain Ron?
That is not how I do it, but that's it's interesting.
It's how the information slides in.
But then you talk to some of these guys, even like Mark D'Antonio, who's an astronomer that comes that we love. He takes a bus out into the desert and they do a sky watch, and it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's another great aspect
I'm
of
gonna try to do
contact.
that this year.
But he will explain to you, and then you'll be like, oh. It's not a UFO. I think 99% of the footage we see is not a alien-controlled craft at all.
Here, show him this one.
Yeah, so I found this one. This one is like, so I'm always on the search because we do the show together and I'm always want to find something for Henry. And I was sitting there, I got some shows coming up in South Florida. And so I'm like literally looking at the newspapers, who's writing articles about comedy, trying to get him to promo my show. So I find this one guy, his name, he goes by Lacrosse writer. His name is David Osborne. Did not respond to my request to put me in the Naples news, but he, on the front of his page, which is a private page, so I can't show it up there, but I made him be my friend, has this footage that just looks... I can't explain this footage. And here's what he wrote. This is the first video I shot after seeing something odd in the sky at 4 p.m. This is a guy not connected at all. He's just like literally an entertainment writer in Florida.
Just a reporter.
Yeah. Whether it's a UFO or UFP, the object was quiet and moved slowly, changing shapes. Here you can see it morphing into a geometric sphere before moving to the left, southeast behind the tree. There was a little to no wind that day with temperatures in the low 70s. All right, so here it is. Here's the footage.
Well, morphing shape right there, that's an odd behavior for a balloon
you got it up
or
there.
anything
Good.
else.
Oh, yeah,
You guys-
Rob got
okay,
it.
let's take a look.
Yeah, so let's look at this.
So, like, what's different between this? So, like, I find this interesting. How is this?
It's awfully slow, right?
Yeah.
For,
Well, 12 likes. I like that no one has really seen it or like knows about it. There's no reason for anyone to look at it. And this guy's like risking his career not for likes, just for like, this is what I saw in my backyard.
I guess it could be a deflated balloon. But I don't would not inflated debate. Like, why is it like in the sky like that?
and it is rotating. You can see that it's rotating.
Whoa, yeah, it looks.
Do you know
cool.
there's a guy in Mexico today? It's on Coast to Coast AM. There's a photo today of a guy who took a picture that's similar to this.
Well, dude. Well, how did you feel about that jetpack
giant
man?
black balloon?
Did you?
Jetpack Man in LAX. He came back like a year later, and then like a year and a half later.
Jetpack Man is strange too because Jetpack Man is in the same realm.
Yeah.
It's in the same realm as jellyfish, and it's also like they're saying that there's no commercially available jetpack that is able to fly at that height and for that length of time.
So I agree, but I don't jump to Alien. That's
Yeah,
the
it's
problem
probably
a lot
some
of people
dude who
make.
built
I
a
don't jump
badass
to Alien on
jetpack.
any of these things.
Yeah.
You're talking about this. There is a good new picture.
Yeah, click on that link right there.
This
in
one
the
right
story.
here. This one.
Yes.
Yes.
That's an interesting photo,
Yes,
isn't it?
this was from Plano Informativo, Plano Informa on Twitter, and yeah, man, that is a pretty thick-looking UFO,
And it
looks like a goddamn
looks
hubcap.
like a classic UFO flying saucer.
And those
you
are my
know?
favorite.
Those are great.
Saucer shapes are my favorite because it harkens back.
But now we have the problem. AI's out there.
Sure.
We just went to NAB in Vegas. The technology is so sick. When you're editing now, the programs automatically have this built in while you're editing. If you shoot this room and you get here and you're like, it will add 10 seconds for you. It will
Crazy.
What it thinks is there.
Oh, God.
It's sick. So it's getting harder and harder to trust photos or videos. That's why
Sure.
you like these multi-witness cases. If we had Phoenix Lights happen today, and
We did the drones.
well, kind of, but the Phoenix Lights, there were thousands of people at the same time saw the same object.
And that
the drones
thing was
were all over the place.
And the Phoenix Lights was such a display,
Right.
that it was definitely felt like a thing of look at us, we are here.
Now,
that's how it felt.
But not everybody had a phone in their phone or a camera in their pocket like they do
80s.
today.
Yeah.
So if we had that now, I think it was 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
don't
think it
know
was
for
90s.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
But even then, we didn't have phones in our pocket with cameras on them like we do now. If that happened, if that exact same event happened today, now you would have this same object from literally 1,000 different perspectives and all this eyewitness testimony. Now you got something to build a case on. Now that doesn't mean it's alien again. Why couldn't this be a secret military project? Why couldn't this be something else? But would be a lot more interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, very much so. Because I also find that when you look at that footage, I do believe it was part of one giant structure. But we have a lot of people that the Fife Symington, the governor of Arizona, he came out and he apologized. He believed that he did see something that night. He freaked out after he kind of belittled the whole thing. Phoenix Lights is still one of the most mysterious events in our history.
It's a great one, and even in 1998, which is only 27 years ago, do you know that? It was a different time already for this subject. That's why he felt he had to make a joke about it. It doesn't feel like somebody would do that today. A governor probably wouldn't do that today.
We're more scared now, too.
We didn't see that when the drones came out. They didn't go, oh, it's an alien.
No.
They didn't.
No, they did. They either talked about it blankly.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yes. Or there were, and then the rest of us spun.
And some of these senators were like, oh my God, it's coming from a mothership. Like they went the other way.
Yeah, well, then you wonder, what are they getting out of it too? Everybody's getting something out of it. I do believe on one hand, there's also an evangelical far-right arm in our government that's really excited for things like something that could be an alien invasion, or literally they believe that some of the telltale signs that Jesus is coming back is stuff like China will invade America. And to them, that's a good sign, because it means we're all going to die. All the sinners are going to die, and Jesus is going to come back.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem, is that also there's this other thing where half of our intelligence services have been taken over by the most fantastical evangelical thinking.
It's true.
And they're trying to pop the seals to end the world.
And you hear part of that supposedly being part of what they call the legacy people in government that know this information, that they're affiliated with this, and oftentimes they're coming from that angle. You got a guy like Chris Bledsoe who ties that into religion as well.
But he's different. That's kind of like that's a personal relationship to God and how it was reflected by this phenomena. These other guys are trying to make it happen.
Right. They're forcing it into that paradigm. Yes. Absolutely.
But I don't know if the thing itself is going to be pulled into that paradigm itself. I find that the more they talk to whatever this trickster phenomena is, or we deal with whatever this trickster phenomena is, it does not like to be used for other people's purposes. And I think that's a part of it. It won't allow us.
And that goes way back to the jinn even. We talk about that. All these different beings that people saw. It's interesting how similar it is over time. That adds credibility to it, in my view.
Yeah. Do you think Harry Reid knew more than he was?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He's the guy that put the money into that program, the ATIP program. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know he worked with it and he was always trying to find out what was going on. But at the same time,
again,
if he was always interested, why would he keep it secret?
Because I think these guys are in, let's call it mainstream government, the real government, the regular government. I do believe it's very, very possible. I'm not at all a conspiracy theorist, but I do think it is possible that we would have black budget programs.
Oh, we definitely do.
We definitely do.
Absolutely do.
So I would think that something that is super technology, that is alien in nature, right into that program. So a guy like Harry Reid, even as prominent as he was, They say that they don't tell the presidents about UFOs because this is a topic that's on a need-to-know basis, and they don't need to know, and they're a short-term 4-year employee. Psh, they're out.
Yeah, you're out.
These legacy guys literally are there their whole life.
Yeah.
Their kids come up in it, and they're sworn to secrecy, and it's like a,
Interesting.
And that's
closely guarded thing.
And that's what we're doing with the podcast industry. And I want to say that we're brave for that. So, guys, this time we did it. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Captain Ron.
Dude,
Yes.
appreciate it.
So, where do your show
What I
is?
want to know is, how do you unfunny people do a comedy show?
Oh, I mean, it's a disaster every time.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm
yeah.
only funny when I'm on the clock.
It's an intentional train wreck. Is that your angle?
Every single
goal is to work your way up from a ditch.
Got it.
Yeah.
24/7.
Half of comedy is lying to your audience.
Most of them is telling them things that have never been true and never be true. Captain Ron, Beyond Context, your podcast.
Yes, sir. It's on coast to coast.
Anything else you want to promo before buy tickets for Contact in the Desert and see all of us?
Yes,
Yeah.
May 29th to June 2nd. We're going to be out there at the Renaissance. It's going to be a friggin' blast.
And
man.
I'm hosting my own talks in the pool.
Yes.
I want other L. Ron Hubbard shaped men with me in the pool. Bring your sunscreen.
Yes.
It's going to be 110 degrees outside, and you just got to slather up.
Yeah, you got
We did not even put that on the schedule intentionally, but it's an informal.
Oh, no, I'm
it's
just
an
going to...
I'm hosting the
informal-
belly flop contest.
You're just going to see me floating in the water, and that's where you'll find me.
I'm going to see Nick Pope do the limbo.
Well, you guys are doing your podcast live there. We've got
Yes.
Yes.
Jesse Michaels is doing it there.
Everybody's doing it. It's a great, and Ross Coulthard, who I love.
Yeah, Ross is awesome. Josh Gates is going to be there, which is amazing.
He's great too.
Amazing. And then, these guys are going to do the podcast live. We have 5 world premiere movies that have never been seen before.
Cool.
On this topic. So there's all kinds of stuff happening. But if people go to contactinthedesert.com, they could find out about me. They could find out about Beyond Contact, our podcast. We cover all of these topics, and it's a lot of fun on there. And Contact's awesome, too. Obviously, it's a lot of fun.
It's just the best. So we'll see you in the desert. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to Ron Janix.
He looked nothing like Kurt Russell.
He doesn't. But it's good to still see him. It's good to still see him. He's strong. But for you motherfuckers, we got the
It
bitch.
finally happened, Henry.
Got the fucking bitch. All the news happened that needed to happen on the day that it happened. Lori Vallow Daybell is guilty. That side stories is number one.
The side story curse
Is broken
lifted,
today.
baby.
We
Lifted.
broke it. We got all the news. I can't fucking believe all the news came out today. This is amazing. I am gonna nut.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
fucking awesome.
No, yeah.
Fuck that bitch.
Until Alec Baldwin dies this evening.
Get Alec Baldwin. Yeah, exactly. Shut off there and be like, and stop. Trump gets shot in the head. We're like, fuck. You know, well, fire up the mics.
Lori Vallow, guilty.
By
by jury.
conspiracy. Yep, because she's fully guilty.
What was it? And she's not sentenced yet. The sentencing is still to come, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, she just did her polite little smile. Worst lawyer ever.
Yeah, so Lori
Worst
Vallow,
lawyer-
go screw.
Fuck you, bitch.
You suck.
And we will see you at the next trial. She has another trial
She
coming.
has another trial for what?
I believe this one's for Tammy.
Oh, because she's definitely involved.
Well, she definitely might have helped orchestrate it. I'm not certain, but we will get there. They are going in levels of importance. So I think it's whatever's the next one. She's the farthest from. I have to remember. I forget what the next trial is.
Man, we'll see what happens with her brother.
Well, who?
Was it not Al?
Adam's
Adam.
fine. Adam's out of it.
Adam. No, I'm talking about Alex though.
He's dead.
I know, but she could still maybe get that or no. That's just not.
No,
that's
no,
just
no.
close case.
That's gone. That's gone. No one gives a shit about him.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com/lastpodcast on the left to pay money to watch a scream. And go to @LP on the left at all of our various socials to look at that shit. Come and see us live on stream every Tuesday, 6 p.m. PST through the Patreon. It goes right to YouTube a couple days later, and it's so much fun. And go to twitch.tv/LPNTV to watch all of our Twitch streams this week. I don't know. We don't got a hoopagoo or a good pud this week, right?
I think the Twitch streams are kind of like taking a little break.
We're working on, yes, we might, the streams are taking a break, and then we are reconfiguring how they're going to come out. But don't worry, They're coming back.
There's lots of plans. There's lots of cool stuff happening.
Plans within
Yes.
plans. within plans.
We're letting Holden help make decisions.
He's been doing good.
He really has. He really
doing
has.
good.
It's very cool.
Put his feet to the fire.
Hey, invasive species. Ed Larson tours Florida. I'm coming. Are you ready? Naples, Off the Hook Comedy Club, May 6th. You got to come. It's a Tuesday. What the fuck else are you doing in Naples on a Tuesday? All right. I'm Fort Myers. I'm talking to you. Marco Island. Get your ass. All right. Sarasota, it's a drive. But if you want to come, I'll say hi.
I like Sarasota.
Yeah, I know, but it's just far from Naples. But they're on the west side. Maybe they want to come down Bradenton. Who knows?
Bradenton.
Yeah, and then May 7th, Henry and I are doing side stories live.
Yep.
From the Fort Lauderdale Improv. Come and check that out. Jackie Zabrowski is going to be joining us now.
We're going to be going ape shit.
It's going to be a lot of fun. These side story shows have been off the fucking chain, dude.
Yeah,
I've been having so much fun with these. And then the very next night on May 8th, we're going up to Orlando. We got 2 shows. The first one's already sold out. So get tickets to the late show at the Orlando Funny Bone. That's going to be Henry, myself, and Jackie Zabrowski, of course. And then I'm going down to Key West.
Yeehaw, he's going to drink
man.
himself to death with all them, was it 9-toed cats?
6-toed cats. Asshole. Now I'm going to be down there from May 9th to the 11th. And I want to give a little thank you to We've Got the Keys for helping me promote the show. They've been promoting it for me, and it's very cool. They're very cool guys. They produce lots of Key West stuff, including Fantasy Fest, so check them out on socials. On June 28th, Henry, Marcus, myself, we're going to be at the Coca-Cola Roxy in Atlanta, Georgia. The following night, Henry and I got 2 side story shows. Once again, back to back. Dad's Garage. First show, guess what? Sold out, motherfucker.
You fuckers.
So make sure you come to the late show. Those are going to be completely improv. Usually we at least think of the subjects ahead of time. These shows, we're going to a proper improv theater. And so we're going to do
We're making them up.
We're making them up.
You're going to like it
so
because
bring
it's going to be
some
fun.
suggestions, you fuckers.
We are definitely going to rely on the audience for suggestions. But we'll see. We have I have some tricks up my sleeve.
Of course. And then, of course, all the way in November, on November 3rd, crimewaveatsea.com/last. Go and get on the ship, baby.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have fun. We got shows. We got meet and greets.
Oh, wow. We only got 4 tickets left to the late night show.
Oh, really?
At Dad's Garage.
That's
so go
awesome.
Check it out.
So go get those tickets.
Yeah, come on. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a blast. And literally, we have no idea what we're going to say, so it'll be fun.
And then, of course, come hang out with us and Captain Ron at Contact in the Desert, May 29th.
He's a good hang.
Through June 2nd. Yeah, very cool guy.
Yeah, we're going to get drunk.
Yeah, so come on out. That's at the Renaissance all the way
Come on.
out.
We're going to spark it. I'm going to bring my good shit from home.
Yeah, baby.
We're gonna get healed. We're gonna be out there, dog, and I'm gonna be in the pool. So come and check it out. And Crime Wave at Sea. Well, both places we're gonna be wet, physically wet.
All right, you love it, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, because I gotta take a shit.
Yeah, you can take your shit, man. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll see.
Hail Ron Janix.
Live your everyday knowing for a fact you just got to work up to the point that you take a shit, and then you need to take a shit, and then you can love the fact that your body tells you when work is over, and then you can laugh the entire time you're taking the shit because you know for a fact that you've completed your work for the day.
Poo poo train, poo poo.
Chugga 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 fart fart.